One pattern, two fabrics, two very different pairs of pants, and I'm taking you through the whole process. I'll be honest, I usually dread PDF patterns, the cutting, the taping, the wasted afternoon, but the lane pants changed that. The pages are designed to overlap so cleanly that assembly took minutes, and instead of trying to delete the extra pattern lines digitally, just grabbed a highlighter, traced the line I needed and cut. Simple. The sizing guide gives you clear guidance on how to choose based on the fit you're after. I went with a 14 for a loose fit over the hips, knowing the elasticated waist would give me some flexibility day to day. One thing I'd flag is the leg length. I extended mine based on my inside leg measurement and miscalculated, so it cut me too long. You'll see how I fix that later. An inside leg measurement and the sizing info would have been more helpful than just a reference height. But that said, she does explain how to lengthen or shorten the trousers, and I appreciated the reminder to adjust the pocket length if altering the rise. Went into a really gorgeous local shop today just to have a browse, and of course came out with some fabric. The shop's called Anne Lee, and they have so many gorgeous linen fabrics. This is sort of muted burgundy colour, very soft raspberry I think they call the tone. Fabrics are 100% linen, it's so soft. Really nice drape to it. And I'm really excited about that. I've got 3 meters, hopefully that's enough. This is another linen I've got. It's a bit heavier weight. You can see the grain. It's got this lovely texture to it. Beautiful light grey. This is the two of them together. They're gonna look so good. I got all the pattern pieces ready now. So I'm gonna make the grey ones first. I'm going to go for all the pocket options and drawstrings and things, and then I'm going to use my burgundy fabric to make another pair, and I'm going to do that second because that fabric was slightly more expensive and it's so soft and amazing, and I'm going to use this grey one, which I also love but not quite as much. Use this grey one as my like guinea pig pair, so I can work out any things that are a bit odd or make sure I get all my method right. There you guys, enjoy. This is where it gets a bit trickier. Cut the trousers out. I did panic at the beginning thinking I didn't quite have enough fabric. Thank goodness I bought that extra ½ meter, because once I added that extra length on, it just seemed to really gobble up the fabric. So now we've got to try and find room for the pocket bags and everything out of what remains. Looking at this, it's possible I won't have enough for the drawstring. So watch this space. We're in luck. There's just enough. So if I fold the drawstring over on this bit of fabric, it's gonna fit. Yay! So left for the drawstring, and then I'm pretty sure even if I have to cut out the other pocket single layer, I'm gonna be able to get the cargo pockets in as well. Hopefully that will be everything then. Bye. Now for the fun bit, let's start doing the sewing. So we're going to start with pocket bags. I might jump a few steps and get a few other bits of the other pockets ready, maybe even the drawstring, before I start sewing them onto the trousers. I just like to get all the little bits done first before I put them together. So I hope you enjoy sewing along with me. got the side seams all pinned together. I love this part. This is where it starts to feel like the trousers are really coming together. I'm about to cease to become just some fabric. I'll start to become some trouser legs. Sort the seam out inside, and then these markings we made for the cargo pockets. Time to sew those on soon. Turning out very easily, which makes me worry for the drawstring, which already has an instruction saying that bulky fabrics might be more challenging to turn out. Might have to rethink the drawstring. Gonna struggle to see this, but this is the one where my machine kind of nearly ate it, and I did it my normal way. So instead of going back round the other way, I edge stitched the same way around again. So instead of going boop 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 boop, I went jump 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 and then dun 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 again. And for me, that second one was neater. I made a mistake with the first one. I wonder if you could see the difference. So I folded the pleats in the wrong place on this one. I have gone out at notch 2 instead of in. I don't know, which one do you like better? I think once I fold this one in, this wouldn't look as good. I think I'm going to redo this one to be like that one. A good tip would be to double check yours before you sew them, because the next stage was going to be to sew these down. So double check you end up with a narrow strip rather than a wide strip, I reckon, because I think this is definitely going to look better in the end. suggested an experiment. I think I saw it on British Sewing Bee, so hopefully I've remembered it right. So I pulled a really long bit of thread and then I've sewed it so that it was tight to the fold away from the stitching and held it all the way through. So now hopefully, instead of having to push the safety pin all the way through, I should just be able to pull it all inside out like this. I'm not sure this is easier. Maybe it's because my linen is so bulky. Oh. No, failed. Failed. Failed spectacularly. Fail. Drawstring fail. Oh. What do you think? Do you think this would work? Colour-wise? It'll certainly do for the moment. I think I might stitch it down, make it thinner. I'm gonna try chunky. Okay, how long have I got? Have I got enough? Oh, that looks like enough. Yes. Okay, backup plan. Top stitching the inner side seam on the grey pair was genuinely hard going. You can see how awkward it looks on screen. That was entirely my fault. On the second pair I removed the front of the machine the way you would for sewing anything in the round, and it was so much easier I actually forgot to film it. So please ignore what you see here and do that instead. Yo, 2 buttonholes. At this stage, it can be tempting to think, what? That could maybe fit 2 of me in here. But you gotta trust the process. Now, this stage is not the stage to start thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to take this in, I've got to take this in, because that's what your elastic is going to do. So I actually cut the waistband elastic a little bit shorter than she suggested. Put it around my waist, and then I actually wanted it about 2 inches tighter than the pattern suggested. Where am I? Hopefully that will be about right. So I've got this clever gadget. Instead of using the old safety pin solution, you just clip it on like this, and then you push this through the seam. I already see it's going to be very different, very different. Lovely. I'm looking forward to finishing these seam allowances because they are getting really ratty now. Right, let's bring that right there a bit more. Keep hold of that. sew these together. Pressed and pinned the hems. All I can say is thank goodness that she wrote in the instructions to check them at this point before you stitch them, because I think I would have needed some pretty substantial heels in order for them to not be dragging on the floor. So you'll remember from the beginning where I added the 10 centimeters into the leg length. Yeah, I didn't need that much. I don't know how I got the measurements so wrong. I measured my inside leg, I measured the pattern's inside leg, I factored in seam allowances, factored in the massive hem allowance that she's got, because you're supposed to fold it over like nearly 10 centimeters in total, and I've had to fold it over again. So I've got a double fold. So I've got not just the little bit you fold over and then the big bit, but the whole big bit again. So this is going to be a very weighty trouser. Hopefully it'll be really expensive looking and not rubbish. But yeah, thank you Sydney Graham for reminding me to try them on before I sew them. Okay, final steps, here we go. Top stitched the waistband and stitch my hems. So let's see what they look like on. Lane pants version 2. Here we go again. Overall, I loved making these. The fit is really comfortable. Though at first the front felt a bit too baggy for me, I fixed it by redistributing the fabric across the waistband before top stitching the elastic, which made a big difference. The cargo pockets on the grey pair are one of my favourite details. They add a bit of personality I haven't had in anything I've made before. That said, they were fiddly to pleat and top stitch, and I didn't miss them on the second pair. The burgundy came together much faster. Both pairs are already in heavy rotation, and there's something special about knowing they were made here in this tiny studio in Japan, with only a few months left. Making the same pattern twice in different fabrics with different results feels exactly like how I want to build this wardrobe, slowly, intentionally, and with pieces I'll actually wear. We're in Nara. There's deer everywhere. With that said, I wore them to Nara last week. I hadn't really planned it, I just wanted to wear them somewhere that felt worth it. Cherry blossoms and deer seemed like a reasonable bar. These are actually part of my Make 9 for this year. 9 pieces I want to finish before I leave Japan. I'll link that video here. If you want to follow along with the rest of the wardrobe, the making and all of this, I'd love to see you subscribe.